Hi, welcome! Today, instead of reviewing new makeup, I am going to play with some things in my own collection that haven't gotten a lot of attention. I think, at this point in the summer, there's just so much new stuff coming out, and I don't have the budget to try every single piece, and I'm sure you don't either. So when that happens, it's always good to come back to what we have and experiment with it, play with it, and just have fun with that. If you're new, and especially if you're one of the folks that found me through the e.l.f. foundation review, I want to do an intro and let you know who I am. So my name is Audrey. I'm 44. I live in Portland, Oregon. I have rosacea, as you can see, and dry skin. And that's a big aspect of the reviews that I do for makeup and skincare. I'm also queer and non-binary, and I find that those are really good assets for me as a reviewer, because instead of worrying about making everybody look the same way or reflect even the same aesthetics, I see makeup as a tool for shaping your outward appearance. Whether that desire comes from your gender identity or something else, I think that it is both versatile and fun to play with and really can be used in so many ways. And I'm also currently unemployed, so as much as I like buying and reviewing new makeup, I do have a limited budget. I'm sure many of you feel the same way, where as much as there's new things that are very exciting, you have a makeup collection that probably can meet a lot of your needs. And because of that, I'm doing videos that are just about finding what's here that maybe you haven't been paying attention to, and finding the different ways that we could work with it so that you can get the most out of the makeup you have or the makeup that you decide to buy. And if all those things sound good to you, then I'm really happy to have you here. So today also, I washed my hair and it's still damp. I don't like to pin it back when it's like this because I'll lose all the curl. So we might just have to deal with that. Maybe I can put like a couple of smaller clips in and just not be constantly having to move it around. Let's see. All right, I hope that stays put for a bit. So it's midsummer and it feels very, very summer here today. It's 90 something out there. So I really want to keep with just a light base. I'm going to use my Salt New York palette with the Sneaky Balm. I have this in the shade N13, along with their concealer, same shade, and the bronzer contour in taupe, and the lip and cheek tint in rose. So I don't know if I'll use these two today, but I'm definitely going to make use of the complexion products. And with a balm formula like this, you can just sort of swirl your brush in there or dab it on, and then use a light hand to just skim over the areas where you want to add some coverage. Oh, and before I go further, I'm always forgetting to tell you what SPF. Today it's the e.l.f. Wow Glow. I figured if I'm going to be sweaty, I may as well go for as glowy as possible. I know that's not everyone's approach. This can absolutely be built up for more coverage, and I do that sometimes. But today I'm not mad about how my skin's looking. I just feel like I can even things out a little bit. And that will make everything else sit better too. And I really love the texture and the consistency of this. It's one of the most comfortable products I have. And I don't know if I feel like I need a lot of concealer today. Maybe I'll just take the littlest dab here. And then again, lightly use my brush to blend it in. And their concealer's really, really great in terms of offering just, again, that really comfortable texture, but it will give you a lot of coverage if you have things like scars or acne or anything like that that you want to cover over. They actually didn't have a concealer for a really long time because Kiki, the owner, has a similar perspective to me in that, you know, it's okay not to fully cover up your skin. It's okay not to be completely airbrush perfected. That leaving some of what's there to come through, I think is just a more comfortable appearance. It's more comfortable to maintain. And so they didn't have a concealer for a long time just because if it was, you know, just going to be something like a heavier version of the foundation, that wasn't interesting. But this formula, I think, just expands the overall versatility of the set. And really, for a lot of things, you could just use a little bit of Sneaky Balm in those areas instead. Now, the biggest untapped resource in my makeup collection is the eyeshadow palettes that I bought back when I hadn't realized that I don't wear eyeshadow every day. But I have some really lovely palettes, and I think, you know, in the interest of sort of a makeup playtime kind of approach, it's a good opportunity to pull them out and see what we can do. I think almost everything I have isn't available and hasn't been available for a while, so you definitely, if we get to the end of this and you like the eye makeup look, recreate it with something that you have, or recreate it with, affordable palettes that are out there. Not only do you not need any specific eyeshadow that I might have here, but it wouldn't make sense to even try to go get it. So the first one is this Smashbox LA Cover Shot palette. And I was just really drawn to the color story here. You know, it screams summer, especially with these shades. I also have the Urban Decay Born to Run palette. And this is another one where I just found the colors altogether very compelling. The other big palette I have is this Tartist Pro Remix palette that I talked about in my video about the makeup that I never use. And this is one where I was entirely just taken in by the packaging. But it's a really nice eyeshadow formula. I've been swatching it a little bit. And even though I don't look at these colors and see like something, you know, that automatically I go, oh yeah, that's an eyeshadow look that I would wear, I am finding, as I've been playing with them a little bit, that individual shades can do quite a lot. There's some really nice, there's a great duochrome in here and some glitters, in addition to some more monochrome metallics and shimmer shades that seem to blend out really smoothly. And then, I'm not going to open them, but I also have some smaller palettes. The Too Faced Tickled Peach. It's kind of a peachy neutrals. This one, I think this is the only one that you can still buy. It's Smashbox, the Cover Shot. It's the Smashbox Cover Shot palette in the smoky version. And Urban Decay Mini, this is the On the Run palette from about the same era as that Born to Run one. And this is a mix of like brown nudes and some purples. But before I put any of that on my face, I'm going to prime. I have the e.l.f. eyeshadow primer. I'd used this before, bought another one. Packaging changed, formula seems the same. It's a nice, basic, affordable. I'm not especially picky about eyeshadow primers, but as established, I don't wear eyeshadow all the time. So most things are going to be good enough. I find that eyeshadow primer does help a lot with getting things to stick on my eyes given that my eyelids have a lot of skin here. And also I suspect, given the hot weather, I do want to go outside for a little bit later, and this might give it a chance of actually staying put. I was watching some tutorials from Katie Jane Hughes, and she does some really nice like one color, two color looks. And so it got me thinking about playing around with like one shade and then another color on top that's sort of in the same color family. So I think I'm going to start with this kind of peachy pink. Let's see, can I do this? This one here. And just brush it all over the eye area, starting up here above the fold. And then I'll take just a little dab and put it under the eye. Which, with a pink, might look a little weird, but we'll try it and see. I can't tell if that's symmetrical, but I'll just move on. So then the next thing that I want is a brighter pinky sort of thing, and I have that in the Smashbox palette with this shade here. I'm just using a washcloth to brush a little bit of the eyeshadow off of my brush so that I don't completely mix the colors together. But then next thing I want to do is start at the outer end here and bring the color in. So it's sort of like a lighter base color and then a brighter second color. Now I'm definitely feeling the summer vibes. And with both of these, remembering to pull it up above the fold for the strongest impact. And to work a third palette into this whole thing, I think the thing that brings it all together is a shimmer shade that has a neutral color. And I think this one from Tarte. So this shade here from Tarte. I just have some on my finger and I'm going to tap it on the middle of the eyelid here. And a little bit more toward the inside. And then I'll do the same thing on the other side. And then from there, all I need is a nice fluffy blending brush. And I'll just blend everything together up to the brow bone. Making sure not to bring the sparkle all the way out. I want to leave that outer third with just the matte colors. And I could even take just a tiny bit more of that same color and add it up here as a highlight. So yeah, that's an idea to play with. We'll call it Midsummer Eyes. But not the horror movie because I haven't seen it yet. And every time I ask a friend to tell me if I'm going to like it, they get weird about like trying to figure out what spoilers are going to help or not. So at some point I'm just going to read the full Wikipedia page and then decide. Given how warm it is out, I kind of feel like I should powder, but I mean, honestly, I almost never do. So maybe I'll just deal with the complexion product potentially having less staying power than usual. That'll be fine. I grabbed a bunch of blush colors to play with, but because I have some powder blush that I haven't really been using, but I feel like today that's just going to feel like overkill. So let's see, what else? Brows. I haven't done my brows yet. And I'm just using the clear brow gel from e.l.f. that I find is really handy for when you just kind of want to make your brows do a thing and not worry about it. It's possible I should have done this before I put eyeshadow on. But I'm not even going to fill them in. I feel like the shape here is perfectly enough. I do maybe want a tiny bit of bronzer, so I think I'll take my Rare Beauty stick bronzer. I have this in Bright Side, which is a little bit more of a cool toned shade. And I'm just going to lightly draw it here along my cheekbone. Same thing on this side. Kind of the lower end of the cheekbone, I'd say. And even though it's going to get in my hair, I'll do a little bit up here. And a little bit down here. I'll just grab my handy blending brush and blend everything where I kind of want it to be. This also is feeling a little bit more melty than usual on me. It's the good bad thing about cream products. I haven't tried this one as much with a lighter coverage look, and so it's interesting seeing how it contrasts with my skin tone. I think I could have gone with something a little bit warmer today. But that's okay. I'll just use my foundation brush here and kind of bring things up on the bottom edge. I could go in with a little bit more of the Sneaky Balm if I really want to blend things together, but I think this will be okay. I sort of had the idea that I would do mascara. I'm realizing. But I don't know. I feel like I could just wear the eyeshadow without it, but I do have a tubing mascara that I've been trying out, the Caliray Come Hell or High Water, and at least in hot weather this should stay put. So, sure, why not? I'll do a little of that. And I can see why people like this one. It does a good sort of fluffy, lightweight lash. But because it's a tubing mascara, it's not as buildable as some formulas. So I find but I kind of just have to be careful to stop, even if I feel like I could do more. It's advertised as smudge proof, but I think that only counts once it's dried. With hooded eyes and everything, I have noticed that it can get where I don't want it to, but once it dries, it's easy to just brush it off. So we'll just ignore those smudges for the time being. Now it's time for lips. I feel like sparkly eyes calls for maybe not a sparkly lip, but something glossy. I have a couple of softer, more sheer lipstick options. One of them is this Sephora Collection Coral. Cosmic Coral. I think I finally remembered that. And the other one is from Mauve. It's shade M58. They have a nice little cardboard package and a really good glossy, not heavy kind of formula. Let's try this one on. I like how that's feeling. I'm trying to decide if I think it goes with the eyeshadow, but it doesn't not go with the eyeshadow. So maybe that's good enough. Then I'll just zoom out and unpin my hair and we'll see how it all works. Well, I'm enjoying this vibe. And it was a nice, relaxing way to spend some time on a hot summer afternoon. I hope you found it useful or interesting or even something nice to zone out to also. If you made it this far and you haven't subscribed yet, then I hope you will. I really do enjoy playing around with makeup and pushing what it can do, playing with the possibilities. And if you like that, then this is a good place to be. Take care of yourself, stay cool if you can, and I'll see you next time. Bye.